Here we are.
There we go. Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody.
Hi, everyone. We're so excited that you're joining us. Welcome, everybody already popping in over the chat. Hi, you guys. So nice to see you. It has been a while. Yes. So good to see everybody. Hi. We're so glad you're here. We are the Accidental Swingers and Swinky Life, and we'll introduce ourselves.
Mm-hmm. I'm Tristan.
I'm Myrina.
I'm Phoenixx.
I'm Crimson.
And we're doing this call today really as a way. Oh, yes. Go ahead and pull that towards you. Yeah.
Yep.
Yours is good. Yep. Sorry.
Good.
Crimson's microphone was gotten moved a little bit.
Although,
no,
mine has this penis on it. What's the fuck? This
I
is
had that
typically
one last
your boom
week.
arm.
That was mine last week.
it is. Oops. Oh, wow. That's what happened. Oh, they can't see it. Wait, here, wait. Oh, can't see it. Oh, well.
Oh,
Either
well.
way, that was a good.
We'll just put it on
turn.
yours
Yeah.
then where it belongs.
Anyways. It's what happens when you go live,
That's
man.
right,
You can't plan this stuff.
Already going off the rails.
I know.
And it's all my fault.
Anyways, we are here to, yes, it says Phoenixx needs to do a headstand in that shirt to make it work. To make it upside down.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Smart idea. So
a little bit
anyways,
subtle.
we are here to talk about one of the events that we love that, as you probably know, is near and dear to our heart, Naughty in New Orleans. And we're here to talk about Naughty in New Orleans 2025 that'll be coming up this June. And our idea was to really come on and talk to folks and let people know, either if you're new or if you haven't been before and you're thinking about going, but you're not sure, to be able to talk a little bit about what the event is, how it works, and to give you some insider tips and highlights about it, and then answer any of your questions. So that's kind of the idea behind doing this particular live stream. So we wanted to kind of start off, I think, just really basically giving an overview, a little bit about Naughty in New Orleans itself. And so I'll start off with kind of the history and then
Sure.
we can talk about it.
But let's be
Okay.
clear, this will be the 26th anniversary,
This-
not the 27th, because it's 2024 that we're talking about, not 2025.
What?
You said 2025, Naughty in New Orleans. No, I like getting ahead of the game.
Oh, okay. Yes, you're right. 2024. Sorry. I'm actually planning an event for next year,
Right.
and my brain is already in next year because
She's that on the ball.
that's how my events work. Yes, we're planning a year in advance. I forgot. I'm already planning that one too, so that's okay. Yes, you're right. Thank you, honey.
Mhm.
So in 2024, in June 2024, will be the 26th anniversary of Naughty in New Orleans. And Bob and Tess Hannaford started this event, obviously 26 years ago. And it was a very small event. And they started off with some friends, and it grew and it grew and it grew, and people were more interested. And last year, we had over 2,400 people attend Naughty in New Orleans. So it's this country's largest swinger hotel takeover, if not maybe even globally.
Yeah,
I would say
so.
there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people. So so that's what we are. That's what a little bit of the history of Naughty in New Orleans is.
Yeah, and so it's a complete takeover of two hotels in New Orleans, and one is the Astor Crown Plaza on the corner of Bourbon and Canal. The other is the Nopsey. The Astor is a very, very large hotel, and I'm thinking like 600 or more rooms, and very nice hotel. That's where we've always been and always stayed for this event. This year, it's also at the Nopsey, which is more of a boutique style hotel. And the beauty of the way that the event is being structured, well, actually it was structured this way last year, but this year as well, is that you have two complete events happening simultaneously, and you can kind of pick and choose. You can, and go back and forth from one to the other. There's a full slate of events at both hotels, and so you literally are getting two events that you can kind of craft to what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
As mentioned, the Nopsey is a little bit more of a boutique hotel, and so it has more of that feel. The Astor is huge and maybe more of the party vibe, but I'm not exactly certain because the parties are going on at the Nopsey as well. But you can kind of go back and forth and see what you like and mix and match, which we intend to do this year.
Yes. And I think the thing too, and you don't really know what the vibe is going to be like, is it's different every year. People are
Yeah.
different every year. You
Good
know,
point.
it definitely depends on the folks that are there. But there will be shuttles that go back and forth, by the way. So they are walking distance. The two hotels are walking distance from each other, about a 10-15 minute walk, an easy walk. But we are going to have shuttles so that don't even have to worry about walking. So at any time there'll be shuttles running between both hotels for everybody.
I will choose the shuttle route.
You will?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And the
Yes.
Astor's right on Bourbon Street,
Yes.
which is awesome because that's where all the bar takeovers are at.
Which is why I'll be taking the shuttle rather than walking.
Because you're saving your energy.
I'm saving my energy. Yeah, that's exactly right. For everything.
It's good to know. Good to know. So we have two hotels that we're taking over.
Right.
And
And then there's the app on your phone, the Skedge app. I use this a lot every year the two biggest things that I like to use it for are you can go on there in advance and it has it all broken out by day and by time and location. And I think you can do some searching and filtering on different topics or things that you're specifically interested in, but it kind of gives you a chance to pre-plan and say, oh, I'd like to go to this class this day and I'd like to go to these two, but I have to make a choice because they're at the same time, or one's in one hotel and one's in the other hotel. So you can kind of plan all of that out. Now, I say that a bit casually because I think we'll all agree here. All of those plans kind of go out the window by the middle of the first day, but at least you've got an idea of the things you wanted. So then you can carry your phone around with you. And if you're at a bar takeover, you can say, where was we supposed to be in an hour? And you pull up your phone and look at, oh yeah, we really want to go to that. We should leave. Or, yeah, we're having a great time here. Oh, well, swipe right. But the other thing that it's really good for is when you reach kind of a midpoint of the day and you've completely left your plan behind and you just want to kind of figure out what's coming up that you might be interested in, you can take a real quick look there. So I always use that quite a bit just to help me kind of stay on track and figure out what I want to do next.
So basically, yeah, it's I don't know that everybody kind of caught it because you started really quickly, but yeah, it's an app for your phone for the event. And Crimson brought it up on her phone. And basically what it shows is all the parties, all the workshops, all the events, anything that is put on by Naughty Events is going to be scheduled in that app.
They have Naughty Beach'em here. But.
Yeah. So we use that. We use it often. If you've been before, it's the same app that we've used before. But there will always be some type of an event app that you can use to be able to check things, follow things, and know where you want to go or where you want to be and plan ahead, as Phoenixx said. So absolutely. Yeah.
And then on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we have our education classes at both hotels. We have workshops that include relationship classes, tantra classes, kink and BDSM classes, icebreakers and speed dating, naked speed dating,
Speed dating,
couples massage. We're also going to have more in-depth paid classes, which is a little bit more intimate, less people. We're going to have daily bar takeovers Wednesday through Saturday.
Yeah, they do. We do. Actually, there's a couple of different bar takeovers every day.
right?
And the way that it's set up is that normally there are 4 different bar takeovers each day.
Yes. Yeah, except on the first day, which is Wednesday, and I don't know the actual date of that, but the first bar takeover is at 3. And I'm not sure if there's another one concurrently with that or not. I'm not
I think
certain.
there is. Yeah.
Yeah,
But we're
There's-
hosting the 3:00 bar takeover
This year,
at the Drinkery and again this year. And so we feel free, please stop by to say hi and get to meet us there. But then the rest of the days on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, there are 2 running concurrently from noon to 3, and then 2 running concurrently from 3 to 6. And so any type, so then they're all different types of bars. They're all on Bourbon Street. And the nice thing about it is that they are all exclusive to the Naughty in New Orleans group. And so you can only get in. Yeah, they have people at the door stationed to stop you unless you have, your Naughty in New Orleans lanyard. And so only our credentialed people can get in. And so that means that what are really fun bars to begin with on Bourbon Street get even more fun because it's just our people. It's just the Naughty in New Orleans crew. And so
Go to the foam party takeover.
Yes.
What
absolutely.
happens in the foam stays in the foam.
Yeah. So
Unless you talk about it for years
Yes,
on
over
end,
and over
all the
again.
time.
Is it not the most fun?
It is a fun party.
It is
That
a fun party.
fun party.
I'm going to say ours is the most fun.
Yeah, our party's pretty
But then,
yeah.
yes, absolutely go to the foam party at 3:00 on Friday at the beach. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I
3:00
think
on
so.
Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you tell
Yeah,
we
yeah.
have our favorites?
Yeah, we
Things that
all
like
do.
to Yeah,
We
you'll
do.
there'll be a few more that we'll be talking
And the foam
about
party
here.
is an absolute can't miss.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
So there's the daily bar takeovers. So during the day, so we're trying to paint a picture for you so you can kind of see what there is to do. So of course you're in New Orleans, and you are Hump Day Quickies. It's our favorite
Yes.
too.
We got to know you quite well.
Y'all, we're having a lovely time.
Yeah, we are.
So anyway, so we have the daily bar takeovers. But you're in New Orleans, and so you don't have to stay with the group. By the way, there's all sorts of things that you can do. Anybody can do anything they want, anytime that they want. You're not forced to stay. There's so much happening with that amazing city. Obviously, we don't even need to go into that. But I want people to understand that a lot of times people will go off and do tours and things during the day. Like they may not want to do one of the bar takeovers, or they might plan something to do differently during one of the days that you're there. So that's totally fine. Totally fine that you can do that. We also have evening activities. There'll be activities every night. And we have nightly theme parties. This year, the themes are haunted, pineapple, out of this world, and then Mardi Gras. And then, so those are the theme parties that we'll have. There's one each night, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But then there's also things like if the dance parties aren't your bag, and they'll be at each hotel. But if that's not your thing, then there's also, normally we have Jen Porter, who is an amazing musician that comes and sings and does like a piano bar area. So we have a piano bar set up. So there's a lot of opportunities for people to go to different areas and different locations and have different experiences to be able to sit and enjoy each other and meet each other and meet new folks. So there's a lot of opportunities within that. There's the bands and the DJs, depending on what night it is, what party it is. There's always great music. So those are just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna say that the beauty of an event this large, and also having it basically two concurrently running events, is that you can craft it and tailor it to exactly what you want. And it's just, there's so many opportunities to make, the event that you want and the week that you want. And so it's just incredible.
You will not be bored at all.
Yeah.
And you can change things up. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but you can change things up. So say you think, you like going to the hotel that night, go to the Nopsey Hotel the next night. I mean, there's just so many different options.
So, and on the theme party night note, so one of our themes is pineapple. This is probably my outfit for theme. I am a low lift theme night kind of guy. And I say that because there may be other people who are not.
That's a great point.
And there are people who fill entire suitcases just with their costumes for theme night.
And shoes.
Shoes. Who knew that one pair of boots could take up an entire suitcase?
Every woman that ever listens to this or watches this knows that.
Yeah, we know that.
They all know that. It's the men that are surprised. Wait, what?
They're the ones trying to get us not to pack so much stuff.
So yeah.
But we're glad that you do.
Yeah.
When we actually get there,
Right.
That was
Yeah.
great.
It was worth it.
That was
Right?
worth
It was
it.
worth
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Well, and so, all joking aside, another follow-on point there is, even if it's not your thing, it's worth walking around the ballroom, do a nice lap, because you're going to see some amazing outfits. A lot of people really go all out for theme nights. And it's just nice to kind of see what everyone else is up to, even if you're not going to hang out for the whole night.
And that's the other, I like that too. Yes. So we do talk about the fact that sometimes people don't dress in any kind of theme at all. It's whatever you feel comfortable in. The theme night is just there to give you something to do and to have fun and to put a different twist on things. You certainly do not have to, entertain going to the nines to dress up. A lot of times you'll see people in just shorts and a button-down shirt.
And I can tell you from experience, you're not going to feel out of place if you're not dressed for the theme. I have evolved personally such that, in the beginning in 2018, when we first went, I didn't care. I didn't want to draw any attention to myself. Now,
now you do.
Oh yeah, I'm all in on.
Yes, Tristan had glitter shoes the other last year when it was Silver Night. Yes, with our glitter shoes and things like that. So,
which have been well worn over, including last weekend.
There you go.
Exactly.
So,
But the point is, yeah, it's whatever you want to make of it. Again, that's the theme for me of the entire event or dual events, is that it's whatever you want to make of it, and whatever your comfort level is, whatever level of involvement you want to, jump into or ease into, whichever. I've become more of a jumper than an easer like I used to be, but it's whatever you want.
So if the out of this world theme night dance party isn't your jam, what else can you do with yourself in the evenings?
Well, it depends on the time, but once 11 o'clock rolls around, then the playrooms are open. And so, so I'm a fast transitioner from whatever theme there is to the playrooms. And the playrooms are, to me, and I think to all of us, kind of, one of the most, like the focal point for us of the evening activities, because we love playrooms and we love to play and we love, that energy and that vibe. And what happens at now, we have not been to the playrooms at the Nopsy, but there is a full slate of playrooms over there as well, and dungeons at both places. But at the Astor, where we do have all of our experience, almost the entire second floor, which is the ballroom floor, or a like conference room floor, if you can picture, like if you've ever been to like an insurance seminar at a boring hotel. This is exactly like all those rooms that are typically set up with chairs all facing the same direction with water, So these are all that's gone, and it's just beds. And it's really amazing to see, to see how you can transform a convention hotel into this amazing oasis of fun.
And how many beds are in the group room? I think
like 20 something. All
all
squished together.
So I did just want to jump in there for a second. So for everyone who just mentally went the entire floor and nothing but beds, what?
Well,
let's talk about the decor.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great point. So, each ballroom, which is, each conference room, which is then delineated into a distinct playroom, has its own theme. And so we were talking about the group room. And so the group room is about 20 something beds kind of, clustered together. There are curtains around the perimeter. But then there are semi-private rooms. And so you will have beds that have like pipe and drape curtains between the beds. And so you're not actually, you can be separate and be, kind of intimate with your partner or partners. And not necessarily be, with others, although they're right on the other side of these sheer curtains. And so you can hear them. So you can get that kind of sexy energy from, from what's going on around you. Those are the semi-private rooms. There is the plus one room where so couples can go and find a third, a man to join them, we've had a lot there
are some select single men that they invite to attend the event, and that they are there.
Yeah.
So I just want to be clear. These aren't just random single dudes that come in off Bourbon Street.
No, they are select, vetted single men that are happy to be in this environment.
They are.
Yes. And so, And actually, our dear friends, the Hump Day Quickies, who are actually on this call tonight, go listen to their episode that they did of their recap on Naughty New Orleans last year. And if you guys put that in the chat, what episode number it is for you, or if you remember when you released it, because
I'm pretty sure it's Nessa saying they are amazing.
They were very friendly. They're, it's a great group of, a great group of folks. And listen to, if you want to learn about the plus one room and understand what they are, please listen to their episode about that. So they had an amazing time, and they are going to walk you through that in their episode and their recap of Naughty New Orleans.
Good question.
So we're going to wait
playrooms during the day.
Actually, the playrooms during the day.
But the rest of the playroom tour. And so, so there's also a tantra room, which we have played in before, which we really enjoy, which is a little more subdued. It's a little more sensual, which we really like, but it's still kind of a group environment, which is fun. Lower music, lower light. There is the crystal room, which is like all bright lights, and for
decorated pretty with
for more of the exhibitionists in the crowd. Although I'm getting there.
Yeah.
Last year we went to the toy room.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So they had like Sibians and motor bunnies set up, and we had
you
a lot
can
of fun.
test drive them.
Yes.
Yeah, they're there for you.
They
to
have
test
somebody
drive.
there that's cleaning everything.
Yes,
and
it's very clean and very yes, it's very well done.
There's the bisexual room, which is a space that is bi male friendly, which is a rare thing at events like this, and so that's a very forward looking and amazing thing that Bob and Tess have done. The dark room, which is an actual, like, literally there's no light in the room. And I don't think any of us have ever played in the dark room, but we've gone on the tours and where they'll on the tour, and we'll get to the tour in a second, where they actually kind of, demo it for you. When the lights go down, you cannot see a thing. So I'm intrigued. I've always been intrigued, but I've not had the guts to go in there and play in there yet. But speaking of the tours, though, and did I cover all the rooms? I think I did.
There's others, but that's the main idea. There's different rooms.
On Wednesday night, the first night of Naughty in New Orleans at 10 o'clock, there is a tour where you can go and walk the spaces. You can be fully clothed, it's street clothes, and you can see everything in the broad light, in the light. And get tours of everything, and there will be staff there to kind of explain what's going on, so you can kind of before the playrooms actually open at 11, you can see where you want to go, and kind of get the lay of the land, which for somebody like me is great because I like to kind of know what I'm getting into before I actually get into it. Unlike my bride, who likes to just kind of get in there and roll with shit, but
See what happens.
Yep. She's the organic one.
Sometimes, yeah. But what I was going to say also, I think that it's important to tell people. So the playrooms, that's not the only thing that you have to do. Obviously, you don't even have to go to the playrooms if you don't want to. Sometimes that's overwhelming for folks. We highly suggest going on the tour at 10 o'clock, even if you never think you're going to play in them at all, because that's so not your bag or your scene. That is so fine. But go on the tour. Go see what it looks like at 10 o'clock on Wednesday night. And during the day, the space is open. A lot of times there's education going on in there, but then also there are set times and playrooms that are actually open for play during the day. So you can walk through there respectfully and look around and see what's going on. There's also, like I said, there's education going on in there. So you can go in those spaces and places. Tristan and I talk about it often in our first trip to Naughty in New Orleans that you can listen to on episodes 8, 9, and 10 on the Accidental Swingers podcast. We talk about the fact that we only played in the playroom during the day at first because we weren't sure, that was our very first time. We were brand new swingers. We'd only been in the lifestyle for
5 months.
6 months. And so it was terrifying to us, and we didn't even know that we would be able to do it. So we decided that we took the tour. We decided the next day to go play during the day. And I think on the very last night, we actually had our friend join us and and we had a little play time in one of the semi-private spaces. But we didn't go in the group room. That was a little bit overwhelming.
And the
plus one room. Yeah. I did get to go in the plus one room my first year. That was great. But you don't have to go is what I'm trying to explain. And there's plenty of places to meet people. Go back to your room, go down to the piano bar. There's just so many other places. The bar takeovers, you meet people. Absolutely.
Phone party.
Yeah. Again, the phone party. Yes. But don't feel like you have to do that, and you don't have to participate. The other thing, though, you can do is you can go up and be voyeurs for all those exhibitionists up there that are hanging out. You can go and just kind of hang back and look.
And fledgling exhibitionists.
Yeah. And so really, it's up to you. Again, we talk about crafting this event to make it really what you want to make it. That's part of it. Like, just go up there, and if you want to go up there and kind of feel the hot energy vibe and the sexiness and see what it's like, and maybe get turned on by it and go back to your room and do your thing, or go up there and oh yeah, this is so not our bag and we don't even need to worry about it. So we'll meet couples and go back to their room or come back to our room or whatever that looks like, or parties and whatnot. So again, no pressure.
I want to circle back to something that you said a moment ago, that when you two guys started your first year there, you almost played exclusively during the daytime hours in the playrooms.
We went to the playrooms during the daytime.
During the daytime. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So the point I wanted to bring out there, because I there's a different energy, daytime, nighttime. And we've had, We love the big group playroom. We love that energy. We love it. But we've had some of our more fun experiences in the afternoon in the smaller playrooms because for whatever reason, people are just more relaxed. So you go up there, you've got the pipe and drapes between the bed, you're having a good time, everybody's laughing. The next thing you know, you're talking with the couple next to you, and in about 5 minutes, you're like, can we just get rid of the drapes? Woo! Now you've met a new couple, you're already naked and in bed. It's a great afternoon.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I agree.
That can happen.
Yeah.
No, but it's a more relaxed vibe is the underlying point.
Well, I think that is a perfect opportunity to then talk about consent.
Yeah, sure.
Because so I mean that we talk about the playrooms and we talk about and we're going to answer your questions. We are going to get to your questions.
Yes.
I promise. But I did want to bring up, and we talk about it again. We talk about it often. Consent is a very big issue for Naughty in New Orleans. It's a very strong policy. We have a strong consent policy and everybody agrees to it. You've agreed to it. If you're going, you agree to the consent policy. All of our staff is trained and can handle situations. But what I want to say about consent is you don't have to play with anybody. You have the right to that couple in the bed next to you and they say, do you want to take the curtain down? You can say, yeah, no, we're actually cool right here. And then, but hey, let's catch up downstairs or whatever that looks like. You have the right to be able to say no, and you have the right to be able to say yes. So, and everybody else also has that right. So just be aware of that. You'll see a ton of signs, a ton of posters about it, because it's very important to us that people understand that not only do you have to ask for consent, but how to give your own consent, how to make sure that you're empowered to give consent and to say no if you don't want to do something. And that is totally fine. So I just wanted to mention that there because it is what you make it. Again, it's how you want to deal with it. But we always ask consent and we always check in.
Yes.
So
okay.
That's important about connecting with others.
Yeah.
Yes. So what else?
Did we say that there's a dungeon? Did
I
we
think
talk
it was
about the
mentioned
dungeon?
briefly, but we didn't
I just
talk
want to
about
make
it
sure.
much.
Thank
Okay,
you.
at both hotels.
Yes, there will be dungeons at both hotels. So for folks who are into a little bit of kink or BDSM, we actually have a lot of education in this area because a lot of folks are interested about it. So we do a lot of beginner classes about kink and BDSM. Why is it exciting? Why do people like it? How to get into it? What are some of the things you can do? And then we have our dungeon spaces at night during the playroom times that are during the dance too as well, that you guys can go in and practice and do your things in the dungeon. So we actually have that dungeon space as well. So if you have some toys and you like to bring them with you, bring them with you. They also have toys there.
I was just going to say, if you don't, or if you are like non-experienced at all and just curious, the dungeons are staffed with very knowledgeable people who are happy to answer your questions. And they generally have a nice selection of toys that you can play with and experiment with and ask questions about. So it's a really nice experience. It's very laid back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So on to kind of like the most important thing, and then we're going to answer your questions. Connecting with others. You're going to this event. There's 2,400 people there. How do you connect with other folks? You're just going to walk in and go, here I am. That's what I did. No, you don't know what I did. I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, it was a nervous wreck. You can also hear about that in episode 8, 9, and 10. No. So what we always talk about is how to be prepared and how to know as many people as you can if you want to before you go to the event. So for Tristan and myself, it was super important the first year that we went that I didn't want to walk in and not know anybody. And I realized there were groups out there that had kind of come together and we're talking about going to Naughty in New Orleans. And I thought they were all people that all knew each other because I was a brand new swinger and I didn't know any differently. And I didn't realize they were people that were meeting, that were chatting, that would eventually meet face to face in New Orleans. So I looked around to try and connect with people that I knew were going to be in our area, that I knew were in Florida, because that's where we live, that were also going to the event. So I reached out to them. So the moral of the story is that there are ways to meet people before you go. It's like a giant meet and greet. So what you want to do is if you want to put some of those feelers out, if you want to do some of those types of things before you even get there, we strongly, strongly suggest doing that. When you purchase your event ticket, you get 1 month free for Naughty members. So there's a group called Naughty members, and those are all the folks that have joined through the Naughty events. Not website, but through Naughty events group. So a lot of them are going to Naughty in New Orleans. So you can join that group. It's like I said, you get a month free. So go ahead and do it. Get in there and see who's going to New Orleans, and maybe see who's going in your area. It's similar to SDC or SLS or Cassidy or any of those kind of swinger website things. You're going to go in there, see profiles. People talk about what they like, what they don't like. You can connect them. You can whatever, say, hey, let's meet and share messages. So Naughty members is a great platform. We'll be doing some of our calls that talk about, and we'll be doing some meetings, some meetups in Naughty members as well as we build up to the event. There's groups like our group that for the Accidental Swingers podcast listeners, we have a group that you can join that's free to join. We do it through Discord. And for us, it's basically anybody that listens to the podcast that is also going to Naughty this year. Then we let everybody come in and we start talking, and we just meet each other, and we do Zoom calls as well. I'm sure there are other groups that do this. And so it doesn't matter if you're not listening to the Accidental Swingers podcast, find a group though that you do listen to and see if they are connected and if they have a group that is formed. Join the Naughty members group. There are so many ways to meet people before you go. If you do the work, it will pay off.
Yeah.
So, and what Tristan and I did, especially those first kind of 2 years, was we just said, hey, we're going also. Isn't it great to meet people from the same area? And we just started talking, and it didn't necessarily mean you're signing up to play with them, with all of them. It's just you're connecting and you meet people. When you get there, you know a face. And then what happens is your group grows exponentially, because I might know you and I might say, hey, meet this person. And now this person's going to introduce you to that person and this person. And now you've met 6 new couples in 10 minutes.
Yeah. So that you have a foundation when you get there and you're not just in the corner.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah.
It has worked really, really well for us. And I think we all met that way. Is that why you're smirking?
Yep.
We all met that way because I put out feelers for anybody who's going and that lived in Florida. And so they happened to live not far away. So that's how we all met, chatting online first and then met in person in New Orleans.
Yep.
The rest is history. So
yes,
you never know who you're going to meet.
Exactly.
You just never know what could happen. So, and if you have questions or thoughts or want to know how to get more involved or something like that, feel free to reach out to us. We're more than happy to answer questions about starting a group, what that looks like. I just winged it. I really did. I started it on Kick the first year because that's all I knew. So, and it worked out great. It was great. It was a great opportunity.
Actually, on Kick back in the day, I mean, you could only have 50 people in your group, and the group that you started quickly, got to the 50, and we couldn't take any more people in. Same with the second year in 2019 when you organized that.
Yeah.
So now with our Discord group, there's not a limitation, and we have, I think last year we had over 100 people in the group, and we
about 60 couples.
Yeah, we met most of them because they came to our bar takeover at the Drinkery. Or we just met people in the lobby, and so, but we met most of them, which is great, and because you have this, as I said, a foundation before you even hit the ground.
And more importantly, they all met each other.
Yes,
they all. So what's more important is not. I mean, we love meeting everybody too, but it's not necessarily about us. It was the watching
a great time.
Watching those relationships grow, and we'd be like, oh look, everybody's all going out to dinner. I guess we won't go. We were busy. So, I was like, okay.
But think about it. So like if people, enjoy our podcast and are, can connect with us virtually and like us, then doesn't it make sense that when they kind of all get together, they're going to have something in common, and they're probably going to be like-minded people to begin with. And that's what we found, is that our listeners tend to be very much like us,
dorky,
fun and dorky,
and crazy senses of humor. So but so in other words, there's groups out there.
It's a ready-made community for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So So that's really kind of what we wanted to say. Give you the quick and dirty highlights of the event itself. I know we've had questions in the chat. So our fabulous behind the scenes producer there, my dear, if you want to, thank you. So we're going to start putting up some questions and we'll answer those. So Nervin's Numbers wants to know what's our favorite state to go to for events.
I'm going to say Louisiana.
He gave you that one.
I know.
That's a gift. That was a gift. Really? Just because you love that event?
Well, yes, I love that event. Sorry. So we've been to
We've only been to the one in Louisiana.
Yeah, but this is our 5th time going, so I think that tells you something.
Yeah.
Texas, I would say Texas.
Yeah.
Las Vegas, so Nevada.
Florida.
Yeah. Well, Florida, we were.
I think the bottom line is we love going to events, and we right now don't have a favorite state because they're all amazing. Any events that we've gone to. Yes, we're planning.
Right, exactly. We're waiting for that Alaska event to show up.
Someone invite us.
We may have to plan that one ourselves.
So that may have to be a cruise or
Yeah,
something.
Idaho and North Dakota. I'm not sure those are going to pop up anytime soon, but unless we.
Well, that's okay. We'll make that sacrifice.
All right. Bogna asks, as someone who's extra cautious about safety, is there a tactful way to ask potential spontaneous play partners for test results? Is this something that people do during New Orleans at all? That's a really, really good question. So what I would say is that now, first of all, give you our rundown for ourselves. We personally all get tested. I'm going to tell you that before we go, and we're routinely tested throughout the year. Shameless Care, who is an amazing company, who is one of our, I believe they're a sponsor with Naughty, but they are because they are offering for anybody that wants to attend at cost the way to do their at-home testing. And Shameless Care has a very in-depth test. So it's even more in depth than just kind of going to your doctor and getting an STI test. So you can test with them, and we highly advocate that. They do a package where you can test before and after also. So that's another thing that you can do as well. As far as asking people for their test results or something when you're there, what would you guys say on that? I mean,
I've never had it happen.
Yeah. I think that, most people don't really talk about it. I think, Bogna, what we always say is that you have to be comfortable with your own risk. And so now when I'm in a party event like this, I will always make sure that I have condoms. I always make sure I carry my condoms that I like,
right?
Not just that so that there's no way that anybody would not have a condom. And I don't play with folks unless they are ready to wear a condom. And so that's my own personal safety. And I'm comfortable with that. And everybody has their own kind of guideline that they have to fall into. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that anybody's ever asked us for our test, but we're also very vocal about the fact that we get tested a lot. But you could ask folks if, so when was the last time you got tested? Yeah. I don't think anybody would be offended by it. I just not normally hear that as conversation.
Yeah. And they're not going to produce results.
Yeah, they would be able to tell you. Yeah, so it definitely falls within you have to kind of be aware with what you're comfortable with.
It's a
going
risk
to an event like this.
Yeah, and just like anything else in the lifestyle, it's a matter of risk tolerance, and we have our own comfort levels with risk tolerance, and you have yours, and everybody needs to have their own, and sometimes things don't fall within those tolerances.
Right. And advocate for yourself, whatever that looks like for you.
And
that's what you should do. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. Michael asks, is the schedule on the Skedge app yet? And if not, when will it be available? No, Michael, it is not available yet. It will be available probably at the beginning of June once everything gets settled in. But the event doesn't start until June 26th. It's June 26th through the 30th. So the app goes live a couple weeks beforehand, maybe a month or so beforehand. So Bogna says, makes a lot of sense since people play so much during New Orleans. It probably makes a little sense to, as the results might be valid. Yes, might not be valid on day 3. Condoms for the win.
Yes.
You betcha.
Yes.
High five. High five you too. Yay, high five, high five. Everybody knows Phoenixx's famous condom story. If you don't, you'll hear about it eventually, I'm sure. But
And yet here we are.
and here we
Yeah.
are. So yes, you're absolutely right. Because that's what I tell people. Your test results are as good as they were until you sleep with somebody else. Then your test results don't matter anymore. So there you go. Bert asks, sounds like the nudity rules at the hotel are restrictive because of the hotel employees. How frequent is flashing and nudity at the bars? Okay, so there's 2 different locations you're talking about, hotels and bars. Let me talk about the hotel section first. So at the hotel, the hotel is a total takeover. Both hotels are total takeovers. So you have restrictions when you're in the lobby and when you're in public spaces or where other people may see you. So even though you're in the lobby of the hotel, people can still walk by on the street. So there's no nudity in the hotel lobby, but things like in the hallways and stuff like that, it's a total takeover. So there aren't the rules about not flashing in the hallways or not walking around. Tristan walked
Up and down.
ran up and down the hallways last year, naked as a jaybird. So, and so
Yes, I did.
yeah,
Yes, you did.
and so there aren't any rules about that. So when you're in the public spaces, even in the elevators, there's nudity because people are going up and down to the parties. They may be very scantily clad, going to the party, going to the playroom. I'm sure the question will come up when you go to the playroom. You have to be wearing lingerie, or you can't wear street clothes when you're in the playroom. So that way is another level of safety to make sure that you're not coming in off the street. So you have to be wearing some kind of lingerie or something. And if you come in with street clothes on, you have to change out of them into your underwear or into nothing, but they'll give you a towel to wrap around you. So there's a lot of different levels of nudity throughout the hotel. The pool, the Astor pool, you can actually be naked at the Astor pool. This year, it's more of like, we're calling it the yacht rock chill vibe area because there's no alcohol that's sold at the Astor pool. They don't have a bar outside. It's just the pool and the swimming area. So you can be naked. I will tell you, there are buildings around the pool and there's people looking down at the naked people at the buildings.
And you can stand there naked and smile and wave at them.
Yep. Now at the Nopsy, because there is alcohol being served at the Nopsy, and that's where I believe the majority of we're having pool parties at both places, but at the Astor, it's just going to be, like I said, light music, very relaxed, quiet, kind of touristy, vacation-y. The big party will be over at the Nopsy. That's where the DJ will be. They have a bar there. So you can be topless at the Nopsy, but you cannot be naked at the Nopsy. So that's the difference there. And then and then he also asked about the bars.
The bars. And so as for the bars, I'll say that G just put in the chat that Nessa spent most of the foam party naked. And I'm going to say, yes, she did. And thank you, Nessa. We very much enjoyed the foam party.
Dude, move on.
Well, wait.
And highlight.
I know someone else who spent, or at least tried to spend most of the foam party almost naked.
I know, but what they're asking is like these other things. We don't have to tell all of those parts. Actually, you cannot.
I think she's keeping it on track. All right.
I'm trying to. Actually, at the foam party, men have to have their pants on. You cannot be naked. Women are not supposed to be naked either, Nessa. But sometimes it slides a little bit more with the ladies that are feeling more comfortable and confident in their nakedness. You can be topless though. Yeah. But you can be topless
on Bourbon.
Walk down Bourbon Street topless as far as I know.
I can't remember that rule.
Yeah,
when I was when I did the bull riding thing.
You were topless.
I took my okay.
Yeah.
And so did several of the other ladies.
Don't be sorry.
Don't be sorry, Nessa. No.
Sorry.
No,
Girl, be kidding.
No.
The guys aren't sorry.
Mm-mm.
And neither are some of the ladies. So,
right.
But anyways, okay.
Favorite theme party that you like? Oh, I'll take this one first.
Oh, go right ahead.
While I'm not much into the whole themes thing, Mardi Gras is my favorite theme party. I do kind of dress up a little for that. And I, you know, just love New Orleans, love Mardi Gras, love the whole vibe. And so I really enjoy that theme party. And they have it every year. So it's really economical. I bought one Mardi Gras costume about 8 years ago. It's still working good. Next.
You look the same every year.
Well, I get something different every
Yeah,
single
of
year.
course.
So hang on.
course.
This is the man's guide to theme parties, right?
Right.
So
Here's pineapple theme. Mardi Gras theme is the one mask.
So
right?
I do have to confess that even though I'm like into themes now, I have like one outfit that I can
You-
Oh,
triple up or
yes,
quadruple
yes,
up for
yes.
pirates or
It's-
haunted or
yes.
for vampires and
Yep, he'll be
Yes.
wearing that one.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
haunted, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
so there you
I've
go.
already thought about that.
Oh, yeah.
She likes it.
I do like
Yeah.
You know, I think with the theme nights, I am not super theme oriented. I kind of try and follow it, but it's whatever I feel comfortable wearing, and I whatever I feel good in. And sometimes when I'm getting dressed, I'm like, yep, not gonna wear that. Gonna be all comfy, cozy, and not even worry about it. And
And I love dressing up.
I've
I
never
love playing dress
yeah.
up.
So everybody has all their different levels. So K-Dub says, can each of you give your number one advice for someone or couple attending Naughty for the first time? Absolutely.
I'll start.
Yes.
Yeah.
Episode 8, 9, and 10 of the
Yes.
Accidental Swingers is
Well-
chock full of number one advice. It's 4 fucking hours of advice.
Now, typically, I'm the one to pimp out our podcast, but that's nicely done, babe. I was just going to say it's a marathon and not a sprint, and just go slow, and that applies to everything. That applies to drinking. It applies to eating. It applies to sleeping or not sleeping. I'm not going to go so far as to say it applies to sex, because I think you should do as much of that as you can. But just be aware that you're going to be there for days and days and days, and especially for people, we're in our mid 50s now. We still can run pretty hard, but we have also all crashed pretty hard, and so just be aware that, and especially if it's your first time going, just ease into it.
Right.
Yeah, and go slow and build up a little bit. And I typically, I've gotten to the point now where I kind of have difficulty. And this is the next thing also, that because my career is such that I have difficulty kind of turning my brain off and shifting over to this party mode. And often it doesn't happen until later in the week. And then all of a sudden I'll be like, oh, Thursday, Friday. Oh, here I am ready to party. Mm-hmm. So you got to balance those things. And if you're not like off, I'm never off. And so if you're on vacation, that's fantastic. But if you're like most people and you're never on vacation, just learn how to balance those things and do what you need to do, early in the day, early in the week, whatever, so that you can still have fun. So it's a balance of not going too hard, but also making sure that you have fun.
Good one. Number one, Tristan's advice. So
I would recommend, kind of on that line, and if you can, to take a day before and a day after the trip, because it's good to get there and do some sightseeing, go to restaurants, kind of get into that vibe before it starts. And then it's nice to have that Sunday evening to relax, talk about the week with your partner, or hook up with other people that you might meet on that last day. But anyway, but it's a nice down time just to kind of relax before you go back to the real world again.
For me, it would definitely be what I talked about before, which is meeting people before you go. So that was such a game changer for us to be able to show up. We did not meet people and have plans to play with them. I want to be very clear about that. The very first year, I put the group together, hopeful that we would meet people that we might want to play with, but that was definitely not the driving force. It was really just making sure there were people that we would know and could talk to and things like that. And so for me, that would be the number one thing, is to make sure that if you can, and like I said, join us, reach out to us if you want to learn how to do that. We will connect you, and we'll connect you with our community, and you'll make friends. You'll show up with friends before you even get there.
We have a great group of people.
We do.
It's
we have people who literally have become like lifelong friends. And they come every year now with us, and
What about you?
So to kind of tie several of the ideas together here, first off, recognize that you can do anything there that you would like, but you can't do everything. There's just too much going on. And even all the stuff that you think you're going to want to do when you first walk in, you're going to let some of that go. So, don't let FOMO or the sense that you didn't get your money's worth be a negative, because there's just too much there to do. Enjoy what you do and have fun with it. And then to your point, if for whatever reason you don't manage to meet a few people before you get there, naked speed dating,
Yes,
literally changed our lives, was our entry into the lifestyle. We met the most amazing people over and over, and it is my number one favorite event. And especially if it's your first time, you're going to meet a half a dozen other couples, and it's their first time too. And at least you immediately have someone to stand there and say, I'm terrified. I don't know what I'm doing here.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll agree with you. And it's just a great event.
There's also, there'll be a couple of naked speed datings, and there's regular speed dating where you don't have to be naked. So don't worry.
You don't have to be naked. It's naked as you care to be speed dating.
Yep. Naked as you care to be speed dating. And then there'll also be some icebreakers and things. And then there's also, I think Kendra and I will be running the orientation class on Wednesday. So the welcome to Naughty. Actually, I think all four of us are going to be there. Oh, I'm not really sure yet.
We just found
I know I'll be there, but yeah. So yeah, but and so go to the orientation too. So those types of things as well. I think Phoenixx made a really great point. Tristan and I, the first year we went, we are nerds, and we love to go to classes and conferences and workshops. And so when we first signed up for our first Naughty, we went through and we circled all the classes we were going to go to, and we highlighted them in our app, and we had made sure we had a full booked schedule of everything. We went to zero. Yep. 0 classes. We made it to none of them. The next year we were like, no, we're for sure going. We did the same thing again. We made it to one class.
But make sure you go to the classes this year. No.
Yeah, but you should go to the Swinky Life.
You should go to our class.
Yes, yes. No, actually. So, but we now do actually. There are a couple other classes this year.
Yeah,
we cannot miss these classes because I see them coming through, and I'm like, we are all for going to that one. So, but anyways, yeah. So that's what we do. Okay. Thank you for getting us off that. Bogna says, what was the one thing that you discovered or learned during Nolans that you took back home with you and do or practice ever since? Ooh.
These two.
Nice.
Yes, we discovered them, and that was a good one.
We're still doing them.
Yeah. Still working out these years.
You're awesome.
Let me think. What do we like? Seriously, though, what do we take?
I have one.
Okay,
But I went first on the last one.
Well, but you have to.
So for me, and for us, I think that you'll probably agree with this. And so our very first Naughty in New Orleans, we were, as Myrina mentioned earlier, and if you've listened to our podcast, you know, we were brand new in the lifestyle, and we went terrified. And we went because we didn't want, speaking of FOMO, we didn't want to miss out. And we didn't want to be, like a year in thinking, oh shit, why didn't we go to Naughty in New Orleans? So we just kind of, rolled the dice and went balls to the wall. And so, but we were brand new. One of the things that happened that very first time, and I'm not telling you this to scare people off but we wound up getting separated at Colette at the sex club there. And it was the most amazing thing that could have happened for us because it was completely organic. It was with a couple that we had just met, but that we had complete connection with. And we realized we got separated and we came back together and we realized that was awesome. We each individually had such amazing experiences that it opened our mind to a long conversation and a very deep conversation. There was no conversation at the time. It was like, here.
Yeah. Oops.
Yeah. But then later it led to a very, very deep conversation, which we talk about in depth. And actually we play raw audio, I believe, in episode 10 from when this was actually happening. We were processing it. And it really led to a shift in our dynamic very early in the process where we realized that, sure, we had this one idea of how we were going to be in the lifestyle. We're only going to be couples. We're only going to be, together. We're all going to be together. But sometimes that's not going to work. And a lot of times that's not going to work. And so that one accidental, I mean, literally accidental
Yeah.
experience at Colette in New Orleans during Naughty in New Orleans 2018 really kind of allowed us to open our minds and pivot the way that we were going to approach the lifestyle. And so for me, that's the answer to that question. And so, but if you distill that down to not that specific thing, which might be very scary for some people, just the holistic idea that is being open to new experiences and being open to things happening organically and saying, let's do this and see what happens. And if it doesn't work, then we won't do that again. But if it does work, wow.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's my answer.
That's a very good one.
That's a very good answer.
Do you guys have any?
I just made that up.
So I'll go.
Oh, you have one too?
Yeah, and it's
we
not.
had you guys.
It's not
that
a.
was great.
It's not a. It's not a solid specific thing or event. But when I look back over the years at how Naughty has changed and shaped my life, one of the things for me is we were fairly new the first time we went. We had a very tight nucleus of close friends, and we went with some of them, and so our kind of exploration about getting to know other people, getting to meet other people, it was nice and gentle and buffered. But as that all went on, being the OG kinkster in the foursome here, one of the things that I began to notice was that there was a fair amount of curiosity about these things that I was interested in. And going and spending time in the dungeon with people who were curious and had questions and playing with them and working with them, coming back and thinking about those experiences, it reshaped the way I think about kink and introducing people to kink and who might be interested in kink. And as we all know, that evolved over the last 3 years in ways that none of us would have thought 5 years ago we would ever be doing anything like this. That's been a big impact on all of our lives. And that all started from hanging out in the dungeon with new friends and exploring, how does this work and what does that feel like? And that's been one of the things that I've really enjoyed the most about it, is just kind of really going through that experience and understanding that there is a lot of interest and a lot of curiosity, and that these two communities can be brought together in a better way than we thought before.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a good one too. I think we have one more question. Let's see. How late do the playrooms stay open? That's a very good question, Michael. The playrooms open at 11 and they stay open until 3. Except for on Saturday night, they tend to close a little bit early.
2.
They start to break stuff down. Although, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if it's going to close at 2 every single Saturday or not.
Felt like that way when I was.
It was totally that way.
They're open from 11.
20-minute warning.
Twice, right? Yeah.
What the fuck?
Oh,
Glitter shoes.
glitter shoes. From what? Which one was that? Yeah.
You mentioned that he'd worn his glitter
Oh
shoes.
yeah, for sure. Let's see what we are. Extending player hours.
From
Yeah.
11 to
So
3:30.
That's why I couldn't answer that question. Yeah. So
Yay.
yeah. So
3.
yeah. So now we'll be going till 3:30.
We're really not
going
gonna
every
get
morning.
All right.
So I knew
Thank you for
we
that
would have
information, Kendra.
a little bit of extra time. I just wasn't sure which days it would fall on. So yeah.
There's really good coffee in New Orleans. You're gonna need it.
I'll have to bring my vitamin D and other supplements.
Yep. Isha, do we have any other questions? If there's anything else, you can pop it on the screen for us. But I think that was about it. And honestly, we're just at our hour. And so, yeah, we can talk about a couple other little things. We did have a couple other questions that had come in from some friends of ours who said that had asked people what did they want to know, or what would they be interested in learning about if they were coming to Naughty in New Orleans. And so one of the comments were what to do about weather. Actually, we answered the question about where can you be naked. We already answered that one. And then how easy is it to get food.
I'll take the first one. There's not a fucking thing you can do about the weather. It's
Yeah,
just gonna be hot
the weather
muggy
is, but it's June this year, so it's a little bit earlier than we've normally been.
So there'll be like fresh breezes and
no.
fresh breezes off the swamp. I don't think so.
No, it'll be the humidity.
It's going to be car exhaust
it's only
breezes coming.
90% humidity instead of 95% humidity. That's the difference. Yeah, so the weather is crappy in the sense of it's hot. We're from Florida, so
used to
for Florida, it doesn't bother us at all.
Yeah, we live in Gulf Coastal Florida, so it's no big change. But for people from more reasonable parts of the country,
it's
then
warm.
It
You're just
might
going
be
to
uncomfortable.
hydrate. Wear light, loose clothing. Don't wear dark shirts like this, and wear your hair up, and just know you're going to get hot and sweaty, and that'll be good. So that's it. And then the other thing too about planning meals ahead of time or making reservations for things. So your days do get busy. There is a lot going on. There are a lot of really great shops that are just walking distance. There's coffee, there's beignets, there's all sorts of things that you can pop in. Even on times where we've had to wait for, like, you're waiting for a table, it's usually not that long of a wait. It's maybe 20 minutes. So you can kind of get in and out unless it's a really, really popular restaurant. What a lot of folks will do, especially within our group, the group that's all going together, we actually put a list together of different places that people will have been and loved and tried. And so a lot of times people will they'll call up and make reservations for a group of 8 and say, okay, who wants to come with us? And so they'll make dinner reservations. So a lot of times people will do that together. And that's a great way to also meet new folks, is just, hey, let's all go to dinner together, and you go to dinner together. So it's easy to get food, and then there's easy to get food fast. So if you just need something quick, there's opportunities for that too. And there's CVS and Walgreens and snacks that are literally the next block over, not even that far. So
It's fried chicken.
Yep, and chicken. There's fried chicken everywhere. I love it. So anyways, so I think that is it for us. If you don't have any more questions, please, if you do, you can put them in the chat, but I think that we don't. If you do, you can always reach out to us also anywhere on our Instagram account. We're at Accidental Swingers. We are also Myrina. I'm Myrina at accidentalswingers.com.
I'm Tristan at accidentalswingers.com.
And then you guys are also on Instagram. And if you want to give out your socials, you're more than welcome to.
Swinky_life on Instagram.
Crimson.SwinkyLife on Instagram. I had to look at it.
And I'm Myrina Tristan on Instagram.
Yes, he is.
No apostrophe.
No apostrophe. That's right. Totally possessive. I mean, you can't do that on Instagram.
How could you not be?
Right. And then I can't see what something was. Oh, I just talking about weather. I guess it was. Somebody was commenting about something.
Oh, that it was way hotter in Orlando.
Oh, yeah. It is.
That is true.
Yeah, Orlando.
Florida
Yes. We thought Orlando was way worse. Yeah. Orlando can definitely be, because it's landlocked. So at least in New Orleans, there is the promise of air that moves with water-ish around there somewhere. Yeah. Orlando, landlocked Florida is tough in the summertime. So, but anyways, I think that is it for us. If you have questions, seriously, do reach out to us. We're happy to answer them anytime. If you are thinking about going and you want to join our group, if you decide to go ahead and go, please reach out to us about that as well. You're more than welcome to join our Naughty Discord group. Like I said, it doesn't cost anything. You just have to be attending the event. So unfortunately, we can't add you unless you're actually attending. But that's because we want people to make sure that they're going. And then also the Naughty members group. Please don't forget that as well. That is a great resource to meet folks that they are coming to the event, because it's all through Naughty members. Now they are not all going to Naughty in New Orleans, but they have some kind of connection with Naughty events. So they've either been to something.
There's like a subgroup, I think, of everybody that's going to Naughty.
And they'll put, and they can highlight if they're going to Naughty in New Orleans as well. And you'll be able to see us there when we start doing some of our calls about when you're actually going, what to do. Like, we do calls about what happens when you get there, like literally what happens when you get there, where do you want to go next? Those are our really super insider tips and tricks, where we tell you what we do and what we don't do so that you can get even a more idea. But again, our groups talk about that all the time. The folks in the Naughty chat group, in the Naughty members group, talk about what they do, and we talk about that stuff all the time. We always give each other helpful hints and tricks. So thank you for joining us today. Thank you for thanking us for being here. We appreciate it, K-Dub and everybody else that showed up, Nervins and the Hump Day Quickies and Michael and people that ask questions. Thank you, Spagna. Thank you for asking your questions. We certainly appreciate you being here. And we hope to see all of you at New Orleans. And if you are going, reach out to us because we would love to see you in our Naughty Discord chat group. So we look forward to seeing you all there. And we will talk to you all soon. Thank you so much.
Everyone.
Good night.